I went into engineering to do my bachelor's, and that prompted me to go into business. So it was a natural progression. The environment in which I was brought, which was a very open environment, it came naturally to me to to give importance to people and allow them to think on their own, and then come to a decision. When I joined the business, and my boss, I learned a lot from him, and then of course I used to read about Mr. Mr. Jamshedji Tata and Mr. J.R.D. Tata, and was always very fascinated as to how they could have that kind of vision. And that time, mind you, I was not involved with Tatas, how they could have that kind of vision to bring so many things to the country and participate in the economic development and do it in the right manner. And once I joined the Tatas, then I began to understand the whole things began to unravel as to how difficult it is to lead that kind of life and do the business that way and still be successful. But I think once you have understood that you have to go down that path, you will find many challenges, many problems, but still carry on. And you may have some temporary setbacks, but for a sustainable success and for a long-term view, I think this is the right way to do business. My leadership style would be, you can say, is collaborative and take people along with you and give responsibility to people and freedom to act and take decisions. What is challenging is how do you combine that short term with the long term and not be guided only by short term. Otherwise, we would not have been able to do any of our mergers or acquisitions that we went in for. One is always looking at the future as to what 20 years from now this company should be. If company has survived for last 60 years, how can it survive for next 60 years? And making money is only one part of it. You need to therefore, as I said, connect yourself with society, be good to people, and through that have a long-term vision which you can translate into success. And there are so many uncertainties in life today in the external environment. There's so many unpredictabilities. There's so much complexity, and there's so much speed because of technology. Therefore, things have become extremely difficult. What you could do in, say, 6 months' time, 10 years ago, you don't have 6 days. You have 6 hours to do those kind of things. And things are becoming very, very complex and unpredictable. And therefore, how to survive in this kind of situation is really a huge challenge and keeps you awake all the time. If you're really sincere about the business, if you're really committed to the business, I don't think you have any option but to keep thinking about it all the time. The Indian families were traveling on or still traveling on two-wheelers. The whole family of husband, wife, 2 children or 3 children. It is very unsafe way to travel. Very you are exposed to the elements all the time, and therefore, if one could create a more comfortable way of traveling, and that's what Mr. Tata thought about. And then we went on to create that dream or vision into reality. And we did it for the Indian market, we did it for the Indian consumer. The kind of response that we received worldwide was truly amazing and really did surprise us. And but as a sequel to that, if I may say so, we are creating a product which will be suitable for the European market, or a product which would be suitable for the US market. I think people will continue to have personal transportation because it does give them a freedom, it does give them a joy. Even though in bigger cities they may rely more and more on public transportation, you can't eliminate cars because it is such a personal thing. It denotes such a freedom to individuals. It's a big mindset. It's a big psychological. It's not just a means of going from one place to another place. For people living in the emerging economies, it is something they always dreamt of, but they could never had. And now suddenly you find that the dream is coming true. I think there's a big debate going on where the innovations of the future come from. But I believe it will be not a single way of flow of innovations from the west to the east, but I think a reverse innovation is also beginning to happen from the east to the west. But I don't think we should see it in west or east, but I think more multinodal innovation will now happen. It will keep sprouting at many places, and it will sprout from the basics of that market or basics of that country, but it will eventually either become regional or become global. So I think there's a more centers for innovation and more groups of people who will become innovators. I think that's how the trend is happening. Tomorrow something may happen in Africa. As technology is making, as bringing that knowledge to more and more people, I think more and more people will be excited to think of more and more innovations. So I think the entire human race will get involved in innovation.